Hello, everybody. I hope you all can hear me okay. My name is Carrie Howard, and I am here with Desiree Bolton, so welcome.
Good afternoon, everyone.
So, what I'd like to do first is just give you some webinar tips. You'll see on your toolbar, you have a option to make it full screen. You'll notice that is right here. Also, the raise hand tool. We have muted everybody just because we have quite a few of you joining us today. So if you have any questions, feel free to write them in the question box that's located here. It's probably on the bottom of your GoToWebinar toolbox, and we will have a Q&A session towards the end, okay? And we'll just stay on an extra 10 minutes for those of you who have some questions for us. But just to begin, again, this is tips and advice for teaching remotely. I thought that we would start with something really positive. I know this is such a huge transition for us educators, teaching in the virtual world. But I thought this was quite comforting because in every cloud there's a silver lining, right? And that's what we need to kind of look at just to help us get through the days. But I thought this was cute. All this virtual teaching is difficult to adjust to, and I miss my kids, but peeing whenever I want, drinking my coffee hot, and actually chewing my lunch is definitely something I could get used to. So just a little positivity your way. We're really excited to present you with some really useful tools throughout this presentation. So let's go ahead and begin. All right, so here we are. I'm going to go ahead and turn our cameras off so we don't distract you. And turn it off. Okay, so here we are, little Bitmojis, tips and advice for teaching remotely, preparing interactive instruction. So we're going to present some useful tools that you can use immediately with the current programs that you're utilizing in your virtual classroom.
All right, so moving into our agenda for today, just so everyone knows you are in good company today. You've got teachers from Illinois here within the states. We have teachers from Pennsylvania, New Jersey, all over the U.S. We also have teachers joining us from outside the U.S. We have Kenya, we have Canada, and yep, and Australia with us, which is really awesome. So at this point, as many educators, and you're probably feeling this around the globe, we're undergoing or planning for closures, obviously due to the COVID-19, and more than half of the world's student population is unable to attend school. So at this point, educators are facing the challenge of teaching remotely at an unprecedented scale, and in some cases, in my case, for the very first time. For the foreseeable future, most teachers will be teaching in front of a screen instead of in front of a classroom. So for educators who are new to distance learning, this can be challenging, and it's definitely challenging figuring out where to start. So we as educators are going to work together, and we're going to transform what the education looks like across the world. And today we're going to just share a few tips and resources to support you. Just as a little disclaimer, Carrie and myself, we are not supported or sponsored by any of the following apps we're going to review. We're just simply passionate educators looking to support teachers during these uncertain times and moving forward. But this webinar is sponsored by the company we both work for, which is Writing City. Everything that we review today is currently free for educators. There's free versions, and then there's also paid versions, but we're going to just go over the free aspects of these resources so that it's something you could immediately use within your classroom or within your digital classroom. So the first app that I'm going to review for you today is called Kami. So Kami is a great tool to support distance learning. It's the leading PDF and document annotation app for schools, and it helps to improve engagement and interaction in the classroom with Kami as your digital pen and paper. It also integrates with Google Classroom, Schoology, and Canvas. So if you're already using those platforms, this is something that you can add right in. Cami provides users with the essential tools to create an engaging and collaborative learning environment. With Cami, like I said, as your digital pen and paper, teachers and students can achieve more. So as of right now, Cami is actually offering a free option for teachers where they can get access to the premium license. And I signed up for this the other day, and it took about 3 minutes, and I had the email, and I was good to go. But just so you know, everything we're going to review is off of the free version of Cami. So
Really quick, I'm sorry, Desiree. I just want to make sure everybody, because I am seeing some comments that you cannot see the screen. If you could raise your hand that you can see the screen, that way we know we're okay and we're in the clear. If you cannot see our screen, it must be hidden in on the bottom. If you look for a little snowflake, that must be why. So I just wanted to, it looks like they're good. Okay, I just wanted to make sure. I'm sorry, Desiree. Go ahead.
no, you're okay, no worries. All right, so let's move into figuring out what we can do with some of our documents that we already have and incorporating this tool into our distance learning. So there's three main features of Cami. You can learn, create, and collaborate with Cami. You can learn and students can enjoy annotating a text, editing documents. There's a kid-friendly app where students can write on the ebooks, publisher supplies, PDFs, and worksheets and more. Then with Cami, you can create. So this tool boosts students' creativity by allowing them to draw freely and annotate with selections of colors, shapes, and text sizes. And even my math teachers in there, there's a whole portion about um, triangles and different equations. So this is not just for our ELA teachers, our English language arts teachers. So students can easily complete tasks and save their files and then upload them for the teachers. You can also collaborate because teachers can mark up, discuss, and provide feedback using their tools, their audio, and even their video annotation tools. So these are active, they encourage real-time participation within the classroom. So I'm going to show you real quickly just how you can get started with this so that if it's something you're interested in and you get this recording, you can always walk back, and there's also really helpful tutorials. So the first thing that you would do as an educator is begin by selecting how to upload the document or create a blank page. So if your classroom is using Google Drive or if you have a PDF saved on your computer, if you're within Google Classroom, you can create an assignment or you can just create a new blank page. So once you get inside and you've uploaded your document, it automatically prompts you to this page. And on the left-hand side, these are all of the common tools that you'll have with the free version. Once you go in and you work within a text box, a second menu will pop up at the top where you can change that accordingly. So you can insert colors and shapes and text box questions. And there's also the ability to do comments and videos within this. So I'm going to show you how I used this with a document. So I took a document that goes with a third grade curriculum that I'm using with Writing City. So I actually work and support students with exceptionalities. So my students have accommodations where they may need auditory presentation or visual cues or whatever circumstance or situation your student has where they need you to provide something extra, you're able to go ahead and add that within your document. So this was the initial document, and then I added the highlighting to help my students know exactly where they were working, images if they needed additional images, and then I actually included down here on the bottom where I've got my 3 pieces of dialogue needed, a specific prompt that I needed my students to go ahead and complete with. So I was able to just take a regular PDF document and mark that up to better service my students. And I'm sure a lot of you are in the same boat as me with students needing just a little bit more than just what we're used to giving them over the computer so far. So something that's been really helpful with this app is that there's multiple resources to help you get started. So they have a help center. They also have their very own YouTube channel. They do offer free one-to-one training sessions, and they'll actually also let you download a Cami handbook. So there's a lot in here to help you be successful with this resource. So it's a really helpful free resource that's out there to immediately help your students engage and to help you be more successful as a teacher who is providing distance learning. Okay, I'm going to hand it over to Carrie, and she's going to highlight 2 more resources.
Okay. There we go. There we go. Is it showing? There we go. All righty. Okay, so the next resource we're going to present to you is called Screencastify. So Screencastify is such an excellent way to really transform learning in your virtual classroom. It's a very simple screen recording tool. I did quite a lot of research. This seemed to be the most user-friendly tool that you can implement right away. It gives you the ability to easily record your screen with audio and webcam abilities, and then you can share it out with your students easily. Teachers have found dozens of creative interactive ways to engage your students with this program, Screencastify. Now, the most common way that Screencastify is used amongst teachers is, of course, to create instructional videos. However, there are so many clever ways that you can implement this tool with across curriculum areas with your students and even with your parents. Now, one thing to note about Screencastify is it's used with Google Chrome. Okay, so yes, that is a disadvantage. I know a lot of educators today are using Google Classroom, so you can easily share within your Google Classroom. So if you don't have the Google Chrome browser, first download it, and if you have a Gmail account, that's even better, just because actually you are required to have a Gmail account, because what happens is every video that you make, it's stored in your drive automatically, so you can easily embed those videos into presentations. Okay, so this is just one of the screen recording programs out of many that are out there that, again, that I found was just the most user-friendly for you. There's also an extension that you need to install in your computer. And to find that extension, you will go to google.com/Chrome/, it's right here. And then once you go to that web page, you will get these options in the upper left-hand corner. And there is a label that says extensions. You're going to click on extensions, and then you will go ahead and type in Screencastify. Once you have installed the extension, if you look up here in my upper left-hand corner of my screen, I have quite a few extensions. Extensions are a beautiful thing. There's so many out there. But you'll notice here, I know it's very small, you can't see it, but it looks like this symbol right here next to their logo. It's a pink triangle with a recording symbol on the front. Okay, now once you're there, all you have to do to create your instructional video is you will, let me go ahead to the next slide here. And I'm going to go ahead and open Writing City to kind of demonstrate how you can use this. You are going to click on the arrow up here. And this is the free version because we're only presenting the free version. You do have a 5-minute limit per video, but that's good. You know, you'll be presenting in chunks, which is perfectly fine. You know, their attention span isn't that long anyways, and it just makes it easier for you to break down your videos. So there's a 5-minute limit unless you upgrade. You have the option to record within the tab, the desktop, or even just your webcam. You can, of course, capture the microphone, and you have the ability to do your webcam. So once you've played with these options, then you can go ahead and press record. And my webcam will most likely pop up here in the corner. You have a countdown. I'll be able to move around the webcam, so I could simply introduce myself to the parents, to my teachers. In my case, maybe I'd be an administrator and I'm creating a tutorial for my staff. And then I can even just click on this, that's actually the toggle, excuse me. On the bottom left here, you will see, and I'm sorry I don't have a zoom option, but on the bottom left, I can toggle the camera on and off. And then we have some annotation tools, so I can highlight different things. I can then erase that if I want to. I have some pointer options. I can highlight certain things on the page. I have a little, so here we go. So here I can focus on certain titles of a page. And just think about, even with Cami, what you can do when presenting a new tool to your students, showing them how to use Cami. You can use the Screencastify. So again, there are different tools here that you can use, and then I can turn this off. Okay, and I can turn this back on if I'd like to. Once you're finished with recording, and of course I can navigate through the page if I need to. Okay, and I can turn this off. And once you're finished, all you're going to do is click that icon on the upper right-hand corner. You're going to click on the stop icon, and it's going to take you directly to all the video projects that you have created. And at the same time, it's saving it within your Google Drive. Okay, so I'm not sure if you can hear it. Maybe an administrator, and I'm creating Okay, and then you'll notice on the right-hand side, of course, you can delete it. On the left-hand side, you can go ahead and view all the recordings that you have ever created. If I select that video, I could rename it in the upper left-hand corner. I could share it to my classroom here on the right-hand side. I can publish to my YouTube channel. I can even get code, HTML code, and even download it. So lots of things that you can do. What are other ways that you can use Screencastify? Well, as I mentioned, instructional videos. That's the most commonly way that you're most likely going to use it in your virtual classroom. Another way to utilize this is to give student feedback on their written work. Administrators use it for faculty meetings, for sharing professional development, providing training for new employees. Teachers, you can read a story to your kids. You can give the verbal student feedback. And this is just an example of me showing.
Hi, boys and girls. What a great Zoom session that we had
showing
today.
the students how to use their student accounts.
Plants and the parts of the plant. So what I'd like you to do as your follow-up activity today in your home is to.
Okay, I'm going to go ahead to the next slide. Also for students, how can students use this? An excellent way to tap into their higher level thinking skills. They can explain their thinking and demonstrate their reasoning for answers like solving math problems or a procedure to a science experiment. This can also help you catch misconceptions, which ultimately helps you drive instruction, right, for your future lessons that you are doing with your students. And guys, this really helps with the cheating aspect, right? They're doing their own thinking, they're demonstrating that through the videos. And these are just other ideas that you can do. This is an example of a student giving a weather report. She had to give the weather report and actually go outside and take her own measurements and compare that to what she found online. Parent communication. Oh, this is great. I love this. Not only students like videos, guys, but so do parents. Think about how many times a newsletter, we work so hard on these newsletters and these, our communication, emails, all that. But just think about how much they flag them to read them later. They're pushed to the side. Well, your parents will be so much more engaged and informed with a recorded video that you send them, especially when they're personalized by you. So they're definitely going to be a lot more inclined to interact with the updates in video format. Think about it. Newsletters can be in video. Parent night presentations, student work, directions. Mystery reader. Anybody do mystery reader in their classroom? My favorite, and so were the kids. They loved it. You can have a parent read a book, and they'd have to guess who's going to be presenting, and that parent would read a book and ask some questions. How much fun is that? So this is a great way to communicate with your parents. So the last resource is called Aw app. Like, oh, that kitty's so cute. So it's pronounced as Aw, but it stands for it stands for a web whiteboard app. So a web whiteboard app, completely free. Again, there is a premium version. I have it open here. And when you log on, and I thought this was great because a lot of us, I've used other applications on iPad, but since we're working right on our desktop. It's easier just to have this right on hand. So you can use this tool in many ways. You can see that you can collaborate. You can collaborate with your students and they can work on one board. But I like it so you can use the Screencastify to, explain a math problem or teach a language arts lesson or a writing lesson. So once you log on, it's awwapp.com, awwapp.com. Okay. So you're going to go ahead and click on Start Drawing, and you will have your toolbar on the left-hand side. This is where all your annotation tools are. And on the right side, you have some additional tools here. Okay, so to demonstrate this, I'm going to just pretend I'm doing a language arts activity for Writing City, and I'm going to go ahead and include a text box, this A here, and write adjectives are awesome. I can change the font size. Look at my spell. I did poorly in a spelling bee, guys. So I can change that font size right through there. And over here, the first icon here is the selector tool, and then I can move that where I'd like it to go. And you can also, not only can you annotate, okay, and you can type, and you could even input different shapes, and you can erase some of the annotations that you have written, but you can also import graphics like PNG, or excuse me, photos, okay? But you cannot, unfortunately, you can't import PDFs unless you have the premium version. So I'm gonna go ahead, and what I did was I just took a snapshot, a screen capture of the PDFs I have. So I have one here about adjectives. You can just place that there. I can click on add and add another one. And what we're going to do is look at a student sample here that we have on our site. And we're going to talk about adjectives and how this student demonstrated that. Look, I made a little mistake, so I'm just going to click on the I do icon. If I click on my select tool, I can put this where I'd like it. Now, here's what I love about this. If on the right-hand side, you have another toolbar, I can zoom out and click on this little hand tool and move this to the side. And now my canvas is clean, and I can just kind of, it's more of an extension to this lesson. Now, the disadvantage, of course, is you cannot save this unless you have the premium version. So hence the reason why Screencastify would come really in handy with this tool. Okay, now you can export this board by clicking here and export it as an image. If you export as a PDF, you will have a watermark on there, I believe, but you can export as an image. In addition to that, there are some templates that you can look through and that you can modify and make your own here. Again, though, if you want to save and all that stuff, it's going to prompt you to sign up. All right, so we thought that these would be 3 great useful tools for you. I'm going to go back to the presentation and move on here. But anyhow, all those 3 tools that we presented to you are tools that you can work with immediately. You can implement them with whatever you're using in the classroom, whatever program you're working with, whatever learning management system you're working with as well. We felt that they were very user-friendly, and all the sites have support question and answer resources there for you to refer to if you're struggling. Is there anything else you wanted to add, Desiree, before moving on?
No, I think we'll move into the poll survey. And then what we just wanted to highlight was that after these 3 little poll survey questions, we've got the ability to spend some time going through some questions. So if you're still with us, I know there's been quite a few questions. We've got about 650 people on. And we'll just take some time to walk through some of those questions. So if you want to launch the first poll survey question, one thing that I have seen a lot of people asking is this webinar going to be available again? And the answer is yes. You'll be receiving a recording of this. So if Cami or Screencastify or AWE is something that you're interested in, our little tutorial will be in the recording for you. All right, so here's our first quick poll. If you'll just take a second, this is going to help guide us for any future webinars that we have. So can you just let us know what grade level do you teach, or are you most closely aligned with, whether you're a coach or administrator? You'll see there's a box for that as well. And if you're preschool, go ahead and click the K through 2.
And while we're waiting for some responses, I just want to let you know, just like Desiree said, you will receive a recording following this live webinar. We're also going to send a follow-up survey, so please look out for that because that will really help us with future webinars. We'd love to continue supporting you and you know, looking for the right tools for you in your virtual classroom. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and move to the next one.
Okay.
Looks like we have a lot of K through 2 and 3 to 5. Okay. I think we could share that.
All right, now we're going to move into, this helps us determine, like, do we need to go slower or faster? Where everyone that's interested in attending these is at in regards to their comfort level for technology integration. So are you a level 1, fundamental? You can turn your computer on, check your email, and that's pretty much where you are. Are you kind of that level 2 basic applications? You might be able to run like a Zoom meeting or do a Teams meeting with your groups. Or are you at that level 3 advanced where you're writing and coding and doing all sorts of things, like you could lead these webinars? So just letting us know where you are. All right, perfect. It looks like most of us are in that basic application phase, which is a great place to be in. So all those friends that are in the level 1, you might want to find a level 3 friend. No, I'm just kidding. We'll be here to help guide you and walk you through the different applications to help you be a successful remote learning instructor. And then our final poll for today of the, I'll let Carrie put it up there. Of the resources discussed, which one are you most likely to begin or continue using to support remote learning? So if there was one that you think would really support your students, or if there's one you're already using, we'd love to know about that.
Very interesting. Awesome.
All right, so it looks like Screencastify is something that everyone's interested in. So there's just some common questions, and now's the time. If you want to stay and hang on, you're welcome to enter a question in there, and we're going to try and get to as many of them as we can. There was quite a few people who asked, will there be a certificate involved with this? And the answer is yes, you're going to receive that in your follow-up email, because I know a few of you need the credit to show the hours that you put in. So if you do have a question, please go ahead and take a few minutes and type them in, and we'll kind of just start at the top and work our way down and see if we can help. I know there's been a lot of people asking about Writing City specifically. So that obviously is the company that Carrie and I work for. There are webinars available through Writing City, especially in regards to teaching remotely. And then Carrie, will there be any live sessions for that as well that people could sign up for?
I mean, that's certainly something we can plan for. If you guys are interested in trying out Writing City, that's something I can definitely show you. Just go to writingcity.com, and there's a way to get a trial. And you can try out a 30-day, it's about 30-day trial, and you'll get the premium version. And 1 second. And I always have trouble finding the trial.
Well, while
Okay.
you're looking for that, I'm going to go over some of the the other questions.
There we go. So if you just put in writingcity.com/trial, then you can go ahead and sign up for a 30-day trial. It's a K through 5 Writing City curriculum. It's grammar and writing. We do have instructional videos and digital practice, so students will have their login. It's a full-fledged curriculum, so definitely try it out, K through 5.
I know there's a few questions specific to like features within these apps. So like for Cami, someone's asking, how do you make this tool work, or how do you show equations? So they, as I had kind of shown you, they actually have a YouTube channel, and you can type in Cami writing equations, and there's like a 2-minute video from the company that will do a better job than I will. We just kind of wanted to highlight 3 helpful resources that are free that you could use immediately within your current distance teaching.
Someone asked about the grade level for Cami.
I've used it with kindergarten students, so I could say that it works at that level.
Okay, just going through some of the questions.
Writing City does go up to grade 8. Someone asked if it's available for grades 6 through 8.
Yeah, so actually Writing City's K through 5. Yeah, it's K through 5. We support now if you find that your students, of course, are struggling with writing, why not introduce a 5th grade curriculum to kind of help build that foundation? So you can certainly use it as a tool with them, but it does support K through 5. Okay, yeah, so thank you. Someone mentioned Screencast-O-Matic is another screencast app. That video actually that I got about the student reporter, I found on Screencast-O-Matic. So that's another option. If you do not use Chrome, check out Screencast-O-Matic. They have a free version. It's another screen recorder app. Because I see some of you said that you don't have the Google Chrome, so definitely check that one out.
And then someone
Go ahead.
else asked that for these 3 apps, do you have to register to get the basic membership? Yes, you do have to sign up and put in your school email or your home email to be able to access these.
Now the AWE app, you do not. So AWE app, you can just go ahead and type in awwapp.com, and it's no login required. Just as I mentioned, the disadvantage, of course, is you cannot save your boards unless you sign up. But if you sign up, they're going to prompt you to upgrade. They don't ask for credit card or whatnot. So just like with us, we don't ask for credit card. So you have the 30-day or whatever, however many amount to try the premium. But yeah, so no login required for all app, but Screencastify you do.
Carrie, there's one question. If one of our users is already using Spelling City, they wanted to know, can Writing City be added to their account, or is that separate? It would be a
Writing
separate
City
site,
and
right?
Spelling City, yeah. So unfortunately, they are not. You will not be able to access it on one interface. It's 2 separate. Although we are sister companies, of course. So yeah, so it's 2 separate logins: Vocabulary Spelling City and Writing City. For those of you who are not familiar with Vocabulary Spelling City, it's a fantastic supplement word study program, completely gamified. You can use it with any word study program that you're using in the classroom. We have over 40 games where students can have really very meaningful independent practice. So fantastic, especially for the remote learning. And again, you can try out a trial for that as well. vocabularyspellingcity.com. Someone asked if Screencastify is compatible with Schoology, which is a learning management system. I used Schoology very briefly, and I know they have a section where you can look for apps. So I would suggest you go to their section where they, because just like Google, they have extensions, you know, Android, there's apps. Schoology has apps, so go ahead and search for that. I'm not completely sure, but they may have their own program where you can screen record. And sorry, just to add on to that, if you have a learning management system, okay, like Schoology, Canvas, Google Classroom, some of those give you the ability to embed HTML. So that's where you would go here. So if you have Schoology, try this, or Canvas, you can get the embed code and embed the video in there. You should be able to do that. uh, okay, I'm just scrolling through. We talked about certification. Do you see any other questions?
No, there's a few specific writing city questions. So if
Go
you
ahead.
want to, if no, just someone was asking us if it can be used as a remedial program for special education, and I'm certain I'm a
Oh,
special
for sure.
education teacher,
Yeah.
so I'm certain that you could absolutely use that use it that way with the digital games for remediation and building in on those foundational gaps. So absolutely.
Mm-hmm. There's some challenges.
We had another question about the applications and how they would relate to the middle grades. So especially like in the ELA classroom, the English Language Arts classroom, with the Kami app, you can do closed reading and you can have them summarized with plays and with firsthand documents and secondhand accounts. So there's definitely a lot there that you could tie right into your current curriculum.
Okay, we have about 3 more minutes to answer any questions you have. We're answering to the best of our ability. Please, if you need to go, please feel free. You're going to receive this recording. Even if you attended, you will get the recording, so you can always go back to it. But thank you so much, guys, for your time. We're going to stay on for just about 2-3 more minutes, and please enjoy the rest of your week and your weekend.
Yep, and stay safe out there.
I'm just scrolling down to see. Ooh, I love it where we have some Writing City users. Um, Someone asked if you can use All App and Google Meet. So Google Meet, I think Google Meet is like a Zoom. That's what I'm thinking. I may be wrong, but yes, you can. You just have to share your screen. So you can use it, of course, because it's on your browser. So just share your screen and they'll be able to see what you're doing. So it's a great way for when you're doing your Zoom classroom meets to pull up All App to help instruct. So the difference between Kami and Google Classroom is kind of like a learning management system where you can, it's an interface where you actually create assignments. It's your virtual classroom, basically. So that's where you push out assignments to your students. You have discussion boards. You have your grade book in there. Kami is just an application. Kami is just a way, you could think of it as an app like you would get on your phone. And it's just to make a PDF, as Desiree mentioned, more interactive. So essentially what you would do is you would use programs like Kami, Screencastify to create your assignments and put it into the Google Classroom to make those activities more interactive. Hopefully that makes sense. Um, Okay, my friends, our time is up. However, we will be able to pull up uh, a an Excel sheet of all the questions, and we're going to try our very best to answer them the best we can. Please look out for that follow-up survey. If you have any questions that you may have, please, please, please ask those questions on the survey. Please try to refrain from responding to the email. It would be best if we have them all on that follow-up survey that you will find following this webinar, and submit all your questions that you may have on there. And then we're going to do the best we can to get back to you. Anything that you'd like to learn next, anything more that would help support you in your virtual classroom, we'd love to hear about that. So we're going to go ahead and close this presentation. Everybody have a fantastic evening.